Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back. Today I have a heartwarming story to share. Let's start the story by sending blessings upon our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allahumma salli wa sallim wa barik ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. The story begins with a lovely sister who is married and lives in a distant area 5 hours away from her family. She goes on to tell her story. Whenever I asked my husband to visit my family, he would always say that he is too busy or that we cannot afford the trip due to expenses. Every time I bring up the topic, it causes an argument between us. The last time I visited my family and went home was about 3 years ago, and although my family visit me occasionally, maybe once or twice within those 3 years, I still miss them so much. As we reached the end of Ramadan this year, I deeply wanted to be with my mother and be home. I really wanted to go more than ever before. When I asked my husband, he once again gave me excuses about his work and our financial situation, even though we are relatively doing well financially, but it was always the same response. So I stopped asking. But I still really wanted to see my family. At this point, we reached the month of Dhul Hijjah. It was a few days before the day of Arafah, and I was missing my family more than ever before. I wanted to be back home. As we all know, the day of Arafah is the day of acceptance of our du'ats. It was that time of the month for me, and I was excused from prayer and fasting. So I put all my time into du'a, and I made a list of all my wishes and desires. I faced the Qibla, and the first du'a on my list was, "Oh Allah, I wish to be reunited with my family by Eid." I made dua from noon to sunset that day. I was continuously making dua. I was also making dhikr of Hawqala. I continuously said, La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. After I finished, I got up and started packing my suitcase, packing everything I wanted to take with me. After reciting the Hawqala over and over again and making dua from my heart, I developed a sense of knowing inside of me that I will be visiting my family soon, inshallah. See here, the sister is demonstrating her faith and certainty in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by packing her bags even before her dua has been answered. This is how it should be. We must approach Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with optimism and unwavering faith and certainty. As our beloved Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, advised us, ask Allah whilst you are certain of his response. We must have an unshakable faith in Allah and think well of Allah and expect the best from Allah. If you are wondering how you can increase that faith and certainty and cultivate that connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the answer is through dhikr. With dhikr, and of course dua, make dua to Allah, say, please God, increase this connection I have with you, increase my certainty in you and my faith in you. But also with dhikr, through dhikr, with dhikr your faith will increase, inshallah, with hawqala and istighfar. So saying la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah and saying astaghfirullah al-azim. Despite my husband's constant refusal to visit my family, I prepared my suitcase with hope that Allah will answer my dua. And I felt a deep conviction in my heart that Allah would grant me my wish. My daughters came into my room and saw me packing my suitcase. They had a very surprised look on their faces. They were very surprised by what I was doing, as they knew very well that there was no sign of us traveling anytime soon. I told them, don't worry about it, I will need it for later. I advised them to go make their du'ats and ask Allah for everything they wish for before the day ends. As we approached Eid al-Adha, I made a firm decision that I wouldn't ask my husband anymore. I would only ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The first, second and third day of Eid came and passed. So I unpacked my suitcase and put everything back in the cupboard. However, inside me I was saying to myself, and I was talking to Allah and saying, Oh Allah, I have unpacked my suitcase not because I have negative expectations or a lack of certainty in you, Ya Allah, but because maybe the answer to my dua will be delayed out of your wisdom. I am content even if the answer to my dua will be delayed or rejected. I am content, Ya Allah, with whatever you have chosen for me. Whatever you have chosen for me is good, and I am completely content. A few more days passed. Then, unexpectedly, my husband came to me and said, "Prepare yourself because we are going to visit your family for a few days." I was filled with so much joy I could fly, but I remained calm. He looked at me as if I was crazy. He expected me to yell out from excitement, as he knew how badly I wanted to see my family. To myself, I was thinking, I know I'm going to see my family from before you even knew, because I asked Allah, Lord of this world, and for sure Allah will not refuse my dua, because I had total faith and certainty in Him, subhanahu wa ta'ala. I didn't inform my family we were coming, as I wanted it to be a surprise. We all packed and got ready, as the next day we'd be traveling. When I was in the car and in my mind, it was confirmed that I was actually going to visit my family, I was overwhelmed with gratitude and joy, continuously thanking Allah throughout the journey. I was so happy. When we arrived, my mother was so happy, cried tears of happiness and joy. I spent 4 days with my family and it was the best time ever. And it went by so quickly. I wish we could have stayed longer, but I was so grateful. It felt like a dream come true. The moral of this story is the importance of unwavering faith and patience in Allah's timing. Even if dua seem delayed or unanswered, maintaining trust in Allah's wisdom is crucial. True certainty is being content with Allah's choices for us, whether or not our specific wishes are fulfilled. This is genuine faith, knowing that whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decrees is ultimately the best. I hope you enjoyed this story, and if you found value in this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Also, if you'd like to see more content like this, then consider subscribing. Jazakumullah khairan for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. I leave you in the care of Allah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.